What's going on, dudes and dudettes? Welcome to a special episode of Comic Book Guy Reviews. Today we have the artist of the TMNT AMNESIACS, world's greatest bootleg book, correct?
That's it.
And it deserves that title. We got Isaac Stone on.
What's up? How's it going, everybody?
I appreciate you being here, dude. I literally just read your book a couple weeks ago and was blown away by it. It was... I can't recall the first time or the last time that I read a book and it literally gave me those Eastman and Laird like 80s, early 90s vibes.
Excellent. Thank you so much. That's all I was going for.
Oh, yeah, and you fucking nailed it. Definitely.
Thank you.
Definitely nailed it, man. So I know you told me off camera it's a what if of a sequel to the 90 movie or a sequel to the Mirage books, whichever way you want to interpret it, right?
Sort of both. Yeah, you can kind of pick and choose your headcanon on it.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
Got elements of both.
Yeah. It was definitely an awesome read because the 1990 movie is one of my like childhood favorite movies.
I'm right there with you. Yeah. I got it on VHS still.
Yeah, I still have my VHS when I was a kid as well.
With the Pizza Hut commercial.
Yeah, I think somewhere I still have that little Pizza Hut coupon that came with it.
Oh, I don't have mine anymore. I don't even think I ever used mine, but I don't have
it. No. So I didn't warn you about this. Character test. I'm going to test your character. Favorite turtle. Who is it?
Oh, Michelangelo. Easy.
Raphael.
What about him?
He's the best.
Oh, that's you.
That's me.
Gotcha. No, he's definitely the hard ass. He's the badass.
Who's your least favorite turtle?
Oh, I don't have that. Let's see. If it was a rundown, it's like Leo is on the bottom.
Okay, Leo's on the bottom, yes.
But that doesn't mean
we could agree there.
At least favorite, I guess, okay, that's the answer to your question, but I mean, here's the thing, like with all that all comes from the cartoon. That the personality differences, the colored masks, like even when they all wore red, there was no like rude, crude party dude yet.
Oh, so no. They were all kind of like raspy, stoic.
I covered the comics. They were kind of all like Raphael back then.
Yeah, exactly.
You could tell who they were if they had a weapon in their hand.
Especially in the black and white, it was kind of hard to tell
who they
were.
When it was black and white, and even when it was color, they were all wearing red masks.
Yeah. So from a marketing standpoint, it definitely made sense to like give them different color bandanas.
Marketing and like here's a version of this thing for children.
Yes.
Because the comics were for adults. Not for children.
Yeah.
They were not written for children, but like kind of like RoboCop wasn't for kids, but like I saw when I was a kid, loved it.
Dude, I remember when I was a kid, like seeing that movie and like, I had like the VHS cartoon and like the action figures, and my mom or dad saw me watching it when Murphy got his fucking hand blown off, like that whole scene in the beginning.
That's got to be one of the most brutal scenes of the 80s.
It's a hard rated R movie.
It's like an X, and like that scene in specific is like, damn, that's brutal.
Well, if anyone here has seen my last Turtle Tuesday 101 episode, I covered your guys' issue, and
I saw it.
And I did the breakdown. It was really fun doing it. But tell me how the project came to be. How did you and Casey get together to make the comic? What like inspired you guys to do it? How long did it take?
Yeah, I did a commission for him. This was like shortly after the last Ronin came out. I don't know if it was still, I think it was still coming out. So this might have been issue 2 or 3, or what was this? 4 issues of the last Ronin, right?
5.
Okay, 5. And Casey was reading them, and like I imagine that comic brought a lot of people back. The concept
was great. Yeah, it was great.
So intriguing and compelling of like, oh, there's one left. Who is it? Okay, so Casey Bragg, he commissioned me to do like a Last Ronin drawing.
Gotcha.
Right? Like, I don't know who drew the image he sent me, but mine was basically a riff on that. So the commission I did was like a swipe of this guy's. It's just basically an issue. It's an image of Mikey. He's like kneeling. He's got all the weapons in front of him with the mask.
And if you have the image, I'll put it up right here if you can send it to me.
I sold it to the guy. You know what I mean?
Never mind then.
I could find it, but it would take a minute.
Never mind then.
I've got a digital version of it. But anyway, fucking Casey's got it. I didn't send it to the guy. Casey, he was here. He might have bring it up. But anyway, it's got the other 3 turtles in the back, and then Splinter's like, here's a ghost. So it was just basically that, and that got him to ask me if I want to illustrate this Ninja Turtle story he's got percolating in his brain that he's written a script for.
Gotcha.
And I was like, well, I'm very busy with all this other stuff, but this is intriguing me because, like, concept of drawing the turtles is like, I'm down. That's what got me into drawing comics, is those comics. So he sends me a script, and I basically turned that into a comic. That's sort of how that happened. It was through the initial contact was a commission during the quarantine pandemic phase.
Oh, so this has been in the works for a few years then.
To say that it took a lot of back and forth is an understatement, because we're not meeting up. It's just emails back and forth.
Yeah.
Like, he'd never written a comic. I've been drawing comics since I was a kid. So, like, I know how, like, a comic script works a certain way. There's a way. It's sort of like a movie script, but a little more specific. Like, but there's different ways to do it. Everybody does it differently. There's a scripts that are like what's called a full script, was where you, like, panel 1, this is happening, here's the caption, dialogue, here's the angle of the shot, this is what's in the background, all this. Panel 2, same thing, rinse and repeat. Then there's the Marvel method, which is Stan Lee going like, hey, Ditko, bring me like 12 to 20 pages of Spider-Man, like, mixing it up with a Rhino.
Yeah.
And make sure there's an Aunt May, Mary Jane thing in there, go. And then he comes back, and then Stan Lee writes dialogue over those panels. That's the opposite way to do it.
Gotcha. Did you guys do it more the Stan Lee way or more of the first way?
No. He had what was basically like a prose version of the script. So, like, he would say, this character says this, and then this happens and whatnot. It wasn't broken down in the panels. So I'm used to that, of, like, dealing with people that haven't written a comic script before, because it's so specific.
Yeah.
And it's very similar to a movie script, because, like, a tight one that's a full script, as they say, will tell you the camera angle they want, the speed of the page, like, here's a splash page, all this, like, inside baseball lingo.
Gotcha.
Whereas if, from what I understand, Casey wasn't really a writer. It's just like an idea he had in his brain since he saw The Secret of the Ooze, of, like, how could I make this better than it is?
Yeah.
And it doesn't take much.
Yeah.
Pretty low bar.
Yeah, Secret of the Ooze is one of those movies, like, I love it because of the nostalgia factor, but, like, when you compare it to the feel of the first movie, it just doesn't match up.
My hate of that movie outweighs nostalgia by, like, an elephant. Like, I remember, even because I was old enough when it came, I'm 45, I was old enough when I saw it to know, like, this is garbage.
Turtles is still going strong, man. It's a great time to be a TMNT fan right now. With the
Dude,
comics, action figures, the new movie
I
just
should
came
have
out.
done a bootleg turtle comic a long time ago.
Yeah, well, dude, it's a good time. The movie just dropped. If anything is gonna pique interest.
Look, I've been drawing comics since I was a kid. I've never stopped. I've got, like, stacks of comics I made of creator-owned characters that, like, it's not necessarily that anyone didn't care about. I mean, this is all, like, pre-social media comics. But, like, this turtle thing, like, blew up. It was almost like, I was talking to Casey about it. It was like, this had to be a small fraction of what Eastman and Laird felt. Of, like, we got 300 issues. They're gone almost overnight. Like, it's like, what?
Yeah, man. This is great quality, by the way. This book is fantastic. The paper's not cheap. Like, dude, you're the guy. Comicswellspring.com. You guys achieved something that needs to be praised.
Now, I will.
If I didn't know any better, I would think Eastman and Laird did this.
That is the best compliment I could ever hear. And thank you for that. I will say that thing needs to be on newsprint. I've been pushing for this since the beginning. It will 3rd, 4th, 5th printing. We're going to have that thing on newsprint. Oh, wait. Let me interject for just a moment. I noticed you still have the white thing on the cover of that.
Yes, I didn't want to take it off and ruin it.
Right?
I didn't want to take it off and ruin it. I figured on top of, like, a bag and board, I'm keeping it on.
And like, that almost serves as a sketch cover. And it's
That's actually a good point.
I didn't know that was a thing. That's like some extra deal for you can order from Comics Wellspring. And I'm like, well, this is weird. It costs extra. And I'm like, well, stop doing it. But like, I'm like, it is neat. But I noticed you didn't take it off because it's
an extra protector, dude. I'm a collector. I've been collecting since I was a kid. All my comics have always been in bags and boards since I was like 7.
That's what ignites us all is bags and boards.
An extra protector, I'm all for it, man.
What's the harm? Leave it on there.
Who else is gonna see it in my long box besides me? It's not like I'm gonna see this. I'm gonna go, what comic is that? I don't remember. You know what I mean? Like, And you pointed out a good point. Commission. You can have a sketch in
right on that.
Yeah. You know what? Now that we're on the topic of it, right? How do you guys get past the trademark and the copyright, being that obviously it's Nickelodeon, Viacom? How do you guys get around that?
All right. So this is a strange thing to talk about. I'm not a lawyer, right? But I know something about copyright laws and
it's not like, also before we do that, it's not like you guys do anything to like try to claim that it's yours, like you own the property. You guys literally have dedicated to Eastman and Laird right there. Over here it says you guys don't own it, and Viacom and all that stuff.
Dude, so, like, I straight up give up the copyright. Say like this is completely
this is
very
two guys.
actionable
position. This is two guys that are a huge fan of the Turtles, and they wanted to pay homage to Eastman and Laird, which you guys fucking nailed. And you guys aren't, trying to say it's yours and not give praise and not give, due diligence to Viacom.
Yes, but that's the thing. So the bootleg comic market is like, it's a very kind of like fine and gray line you walk. Like Marvel and DC and all of them, they all look the other way at sketches you will do at conventions.
Gotcha.
And sell for $20-$30 or whatever it is. It's just kind of like it's not a loophole exactly, because like, let's say the Mouse wanted to get real like fascist about it, they could be like, we're shutting all this down. No one's doing convention sketches of our characters. And they could have done that before the Mouse got involved. They could have done that back in the 90s,
Yeah.
So like that kind of thing is sort of kind of looked the other way because of many reasons. One, that historically the people who work for these big companies like Marvel and DC, they're not taken care of well, most of them. The big ones got their money. Kirby, Siegel and Schuster. People like that, eventually through the efforts of like Richard Donner and Neil Adams, Siegel and Schuster's family got the money. They got the money. Some of it, not enough. That's me.
Yeah.
So as far as like how we get around it, like for one thing, we only take donations.
Gotcha. Okay.
There's no price tag on that comic. It's like, you want to give us money, you can. Here's a product. And I think like with eBay, all that stuff's out the window. More or less, because it's a third-party situation where you're just selling something you already paid for.
Yeah, because if I was selling like a Marvel product, I'm not claiming to own Marvel. I'm just third-partying a Marvel collectible or whatever.
Yeah, so I'll give you the only example of any kind of legal action we've had so far has been on Etsy. And this was cool to like actually see this, because like if you get a cease and desist from the company, it's kind of like you frame it, you put it on the wall of your studio, like, I noticed this. Nice.
Yeah. My stuff is good enough where so-and-so sent me a cease and desist.
We're selling enough to like somebody, but it wasn't that. It was like probably a bot caught it, like an algorithm thing. Because in the title of the item were the letters TMNT. All they did was strike us with like one image. I won't say which one it is. Might be the cover of the comic. I won't say it, because I don't admit the things on camera.
Yeah.
Like that. But our end goal here is to make 5 issues and just sell it to IDW. Like, this is the company that Nickelodeon owns, that Viacom owns. And I know that people that either work there or possibly Eastman and Laird themselves has seen this thing. So basically,
awesome.
What me and Casey are doing is like the world's most expensive business card. We get all 5 of these issues done. We just hand it to IDW and go like, Do you
This
want
is
it?
this is what we're capable of doing.
Here
And
it is.
dude, that I was gonna comment on it later. Your work is better than most comics that I read. This could be something that like gets you a job at IDW, like you said, and like that's the end goal, the dream, right? It's like,
Oh, this project, yes, is to do turtle comics that are like sanctioned and legal, and that we could get paid a page rate for doing. You know what I mean? Like, it's not about the money, but it's like it'd be nice to do this for a living.
yeah, if IDW saw your stuff, they're like, he draws the turtles this good. Casey, wrote that story about the turtles and it's that good. Hey man, you want to come on for a project or something? That would be awesome.
There's a built-in fan base for the thing we're doing, so it's like they can just publish it. They can get that comic out to the world without having to pay $30 to get it to Canada.
Yeah.
It costs less to ship a book to Hawaii than Canada from Tennessee.
Are you guys shipping all around the world?
Yeah, but it's like we've got to charge the customer for the shipping.
Of course.
So at a normal kind of like I buy comics at a comic store, I don't have like $30 on top of the $10 suggested donation, wink wink, to pay for one comic. And
what's
the no, go
what's
ahead.
What's the craziest location you saw? Like, holy shit, I have to ship to
Ireland, I think. I was like, Ireland? Oh,
that's awesome, though, man. People all around the world are enjoying your work.
The response to it has been amazing because everybody's responding to how it looks like one of these old comics. I think the most distinctive thing about the comics is not even the idea or the name, although best name in comics, honestly, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
It
just
stands out.
The cadence of it is so weird. Even now, it's like, there's a reason why we just say Turtles.
Yes, it's because it's a long name, or just TMNT.
Right. I would call them Turks.
I know you told me issue 2 is in the works.
Oh, yeah.
So how far along issue 2 are you guys?
Well, the whole thing's written. I think issue 3 is written. Issue 4 might be written. We know where it's going to end.
So Casey's finished the scripts for him. Now you're just banging out the art.
Yeah, more or less. Like, I think he's got the script for issue 3, and we know what's going to happen in 4 and 5. I don't know if he's got that far writing-wise. You better get on it, Casey.
Shout out to Casey, by the way. Great job, man.
Bragg. Whole reason this thing is a deal. So, yeah, but I'm on page... the second issue is going to be much bigger in many ways than the first issue. Not only in scope of the story, but, like, as far as page count. First issue was 24. This issue is 32 pages. And then there's going to be a letter column. There's going to be some fan art.
That's cool.
There's going to be a couple things I contracted from, like, local artists. Like pen-ups, if you will. And we're going to bring back Turtle Tracks.
That's amazing.
Yeah, well, that was the original letter column, right?
Yeah.
So they're like, we're just going to just keep that going.
So more paying homage, and that's amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah, so
is there any sneak peeks you can give?
I got the second issue right here. This
portfolio. Let me see something.
First page. I don't know.
That is so dope, man.
That's the first page.
That is amazing. That is fantastic. Dude, look at that. Dude, your line work is something, man.
Oh, thanks, dude. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Well, we're doing a Kirby thing here. Kirby would open up a page, a comic. You do first page, a splash page, and then you do a double page spread. I don't know. That's really reading.
Is that the truck from the first movie?
That's exactly what it is.
Oh, that's amazing.
Okay. So then you do double page spread. You do a splash page and a double page spread. That's how Kirby opened first issue. Or a lot of comics. So then there's more of that. And then I'll just kind of like, let's see, where's a really good page? They're still in the facility. They're trying to break out, basically, is what's happening in this issue. And then
Don't spoil anything.
No, I won't. But I will show you. This is Money Shot. This is when he finally fully puts the mask on.
Okay. Yeah,
And
that's so good, man.
this April back here, she's got a sigh.
Is that April the Sai, or is that like Karai or something?
That is April. Or Jane
Ooh,
Doe
so-
at this point, honestly.
Oh, well, Jane Doe. So April's going to get her hands dirty. I like that.
Yeah, Casey finally puts the mask on. He's got one nunchuck ready for action there. And then
I'm guessing that's all from April's bag, that Kino.
that's exactly what it is. There's some creeping around. One thing that
I can't wait.
lacks in many modern stories, movies, comics, whatever, is creeping around.
Do you guys have like a release date or like a ballpark when you want to release it?
Winter. So anyway, this is a Paul DeLacy page from Shang-Chi comic, a very famous one, where he had two nunchucks.
Oh, that's awesome.
So there's that. And then I can show you the last page that I'm working on. It's still a blue line. I do it all analog. So
that's cool.
Looks like Casey's like giving these two guys the business.
Yeah. Oh, that's great, man. I can't wait for issue 2 to come out. Oh, yeah.
Sneak peek of issue 2.
Sneak peek of issue 2. And
pencils will be done, like, hopefully by the end of this month.
So if anyone wants to purchase the first issue, where can they find it?
Well, we'll have some shortly available on eBay and Etsy, I believe.
Okay, I'll have all the links down below, too.
Because we did a 600 copy print run of the first issue. So, like, the first half, 300, they're all gone. They went out quick. And then the second half of our order will be here any day now.
So cool. People, it's coming, people. If you want it, links are down below. You can definitely find it. Support these guys. You won't be disappointed. If you're a fan of just supporting, local comic guys coming up, trying to do something awesome, and you want to support and get that nostalgia factor of like the early Mirage style comics, this is the book to get. Especially with like big things coming. How many issues do you have planned for the run? 5, you said? 5.
It's a 5 issue at this point. I think it's just 5 issues. Yeah. And a side note, we're going to be introducing our create your own characters.
Oh, cool.
Pepper them along the way. So
cool.
When hopefully IDW picks this up, like, well, these are ours, and we just do these for you also, because they're very much anthropomorphic, TMNT inspired characters.
Oh, that I can't wait to see what you guys cook up for that. And you guys also have merch.
Oh yeah, right? The Etsy shop is filled with merch like this shirt. Although this one, I don't know if you can get this one anymore.
Yeah,
but there's
what do you guys have merch wise?
God, there's so much stuff. It's like 3 pages of items.
I think I saw like coffee mugs, t-shirts, tank tops, hats,
backpacks, stickers, buttons, coasters, metal prints. It's crazy, like the amount of stuff that I want, because it's all my art on it. And I'm like, I want all this stuff, but I can't afford it. Like,
I think what I saw, you had it was a bunch of merch with the cover of the comic on there, and then you had a bunch of Futekigo Studios logos and everything like that.
That's basically it. And pretty much anything that didn't have the letters TMNT in it did not get copyright struck.
Thank you so much for coming on, man. This was an absolute pleasure to just shoot the shit about someone who loves turtles. And please, guys, go support Futekigo Studios. They are doing some of the best Ninja Turtle work right now. All the links will be down below for the comics, for the merch. I'll put Futekigo Studios socials down there. There's the first issue. So get it while you can before it sells out.
300 issues go real fast in this modern day of social media. They really do. Like, I was shocked. My internet head just spun around.
Yeah.
Who knew that the turtles were popular?
Well, Isaac, dude, it was a pleasure talking to you, man. Thank you so much for coming on.
This was a blast. Let's do it again soon.
Let's do it again when issue 2 drops, man. And next time we can let's get Casey on here too. Get Casey on here too. So definitely. Casey, there's your invite after issue 2. Futekigo Studios here on Nerd Daddy. Let's do it.
Thank you, Nerd Daddy.
You're welcome, man. Thank you, Futekigo Studios. All right, guys. Appreciate you hanging out for a little bit. checking out the video. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, all that good stuff. And until the next one, guys, later.